Check this out. Back to the basics. Speaker on that side. Voltmeter on this side. Other speaker, the 10, is coming off of the center taps of the other side of the wall. And there is 10 microfarads in series, which is allowing 5. It works with 5, what I'm going to show you here, but 10 gives me a little more volume here, so it's easier to pick it out. Check out this wave. It's at rest right now. This is all the way down, so this thing tends to read voltage that's overpowering from this side. So I'm assuming that this is acting just like a voltmeter, because it's done that to me in the past. But anyway, variacs down to 40 volts. I'm going to give it just a little bit more, just enough to overcome the dampening that's in this circuit. Just a hair. Watch what starts to happen with the wave. Come up a little more, it's not enough. So it grows a little bit. It seems like it's slowly climbing. It's fluctuating. Voltmeter is reading across the other, so it's too fast for it to aggregate. But it's reading across this capacitor. At rest, I was seeing 120 volts, say there, and it's about 70 some on the other one. Let me give this a little more here. Unhook the other speaker. You see it's still going on against this magnetic wall. I've got the power supply hooked on the back of both diodes, reverse diodes here, which is making it, obviously it doesn't work when it's dead shorted. Something's going on with the power supply causing it. A little bit. Trying different. It only does it when I have it actually hooked to the power supply, so it may be the culprit, but it's cool nonetheless. These are, the longer it runs, the more they grow in, the more they begin to grow. I'm going to short that now. I just shorted the outer two. It's in low power mode now. I'm going to push the turbo button. Look, it's already starting to do that. It was steady, but then it just built up enough. Look at it growing. It's getting a little louder. I'm going to kick it. Maybe. I really need to find me a push button. There it goes. Stabilize it, go back the variac down a little bit. Now I can try to overpower the wall by putting more voltage this way. About 5-6 volts is the threshold where there's more potential here, saturating the core that way. Oh, I forgot to hook it back up. So now I got them both in. Get my harmonic. very sensitive. Stupid power supply. Oh, that killed it. So I gotta kill this supply. That allows it to resaturate from this way. And as you see what happened there was a disturbance, right? Let's do it again. I'm gonna turn it off. It's a dampened ringing as it attempts to wind down and find unity there. So when there's enough voltage here that, oh, after I turn it up, there we go. Ooh, look at that. Now, oh, I killed it again. There it came back. There's the settle. Back to here. A little faster. So reducing the input causes a second little spike to want to come in. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's right about the end, about 3/4 of the way through. It'll be a little bump as I decrease. Yeah, it's hard to hear it. Had this rectifier on here, a rectifier on here. Well, hold on, let me see if I can show you that. Okay, nope, too much work. Rectified right off of here, and during different states of vibrating the harmonies, and I really can't pick them up on the phone very well, but I can literally get 3 different harmonies going. Well, the root note, which is like the 60, I think it's a 30 or a 60 hertz A, kind of an A that's I'm hearing anyway, and then even the scope picks up. I can see 120 hertz pick up, and then as I get closer with the beat frequency closer to in tune, just by tuning this, it's the only way I can describe it. It's like 2 vibrating fields, energies that are, one is vibrating at a harmonic of the bass one. This one here, without anything plugged in, you can hear this transformer running, buzzing at the low note, and when I kick it with that short in that coil there, this one comes in and buzzes at some faster harmonic of it, and it's perfectly in tune. So it literally plays a major, a two note major chord between the two of them. And obviously, when that state happens, the rectified voltage of this capacitor reached 400 volts off of the 44 volt output from 120 that's restricted by only 5 microfarads of capacitance. 400 volts. And it recovers very quickly. I can arc it over and over and over again. It recovers very quickly. But I unhooked it because it dampens the rectifier, the drop in that, and then the capacitor, I suppose. Any resistive effects here has a dampening, like I had this guy there, 23 ohms, and it doesn't want to sustain as much. Here's an on state. It's almost getting very hard to not make it oscillate. Before I used to have a hell of a time kicking it, but now once I do it, it start up. Any slight disturbance in the circuit, once it's stabilized, so I'll try to stabilize it with an opposing DC charge here. My voltage isn't up high enough. There's a certain threshold about 3/4 of the way up on this variac, somewhere around 100 volts or so, that it takes to kick it. Drop the variac down and it falls right out of that resonant state, but we still have a beat frequency going on here. Now our volts reading up to upwards of 120 in a complete sinusoidal, or in a, what do you even call that, a voltage sweeping, an amplitude sweeping, a gradient of the sinusoidal, or at least it probably looks a little more like square wave. Yeah. Yes. Pump it. I'll hook that big guy for a minute. A little saturation brings it right back under control. I slowly back it off, and I can keep it humming with just a little bit. Well, that's practically off now, but see, it wants to go. It'll fight back just with that little bit. Or it'll make a liar out of me. Yeah, it wasn't quite all the way off. No circuit controlling going on here. No, nothing driving the oscillator. The beat oscillator, because one frequency and one slightly different frequency produce a third frequency. It doesn't have to be external, doesn't have to be radiated magnetic interferometric cross-secting to produce a third frequency. It can exist in a closed loop circuit. Hook the other guy back up here. What am I doing? I don't know. Disturbance. all you have to do is kick it. Just smack it with a little bit of current to make that field push back the other way, and then pull it away right away. And it's like, and it's effectively a magnetic impulse that has a damped ramp down. But now I don't want to do it. Anyway, that's long enough. Let's see what we got here. I'll show you the... Wait, not that. Oh, look at that. You weren't supposed to see that. Here we go. That's effect. Well, wait a minute. I have 17 drawings of this. There we go. That's what we got going on here. Except for that. That's not there. These are the two center capacitors off the 44 volt line. The 6x9 is that one, and the voltmeter is that one, is this here. This is just a voltmeter. And the 10-inch speaker is off these two center taps on this side here. This is not here. I pulled it out, so the 10-inch is just on here. And these outer two aren't hooked up. So it's only using the two inner sections of it. That's causing it. And that's the 22 that kicks it into high gear, or I can short this capacitor and it'll kick it much better. I've been hooking the DC power supply up right here on either side of, on this side of the diodes and the coil here. So that's where I'm applying, ironically, the DC, and it doesn't matter the polarity, it has the same effect. So it's somehow still able to affect the saturation even though it's not coming from this side. But at the same time, this side is allowed to vibrate more freely because this speaker, the 10-inch speaker here, is the one that tends to resonate the harmonic multiple of the frequency that's vibrating in this transformer. Whatever this one is doing, the, I would almost say the third harmonic, or the third in the key of A is the way I think about it, from the root note, which would be a nasty A. 60 hertz is so droning to listen to. It changes your mental state after a long period of time. I think this circuit's missing one thing: a piezoelectric transducer that can somehow exist somewhere in here, and I bet the gain will improve further.